Wait a minute.
Hello everyone and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you are doing good tonight. We have some interesting topics to discuss, a lot of rumors, some unfortunate news if you are a fan of the gaming industry. We have some retcons to talk about, some Star Wars news as well. It's going to be a very interesting night for topics. They're very mixed. I couldn't seem to keep to a specific area of topics tonight. Usually the streams are pretty cut up. Usually it's like half entertainment related, half gaming. I try to keep it pretty balanced, but it's going to be an interesting night for rumors. So, tonight in this stream, I would like to give everyone a nice fair warning. It is pouring outside, okay? It has been awful all day. And you guys might be able to hear the rain in the background. If you can, sorry. I don't live in a new, cool, underground, under a waterfall base. It is just pouring out. But the topics that we are going to be discussing tonight are Disney. Disney has laid off 6,700 non-union Walt Disney World employees as part of a 28,000 layoff announcement. Obviously, with the coronavirus, a lot of industries are affected right now, but Disney and Disney World employees are unfortunately getting hit very, very terribly. We are going to be discussing Crucible. Now, Crucible was an Amazon game. It was the first large game that Amazon Studios had released. And this game has been a mess since the very, very, very beginning. Now, this game, oh geez, where do I even start with it? So this game had been released back in May into beta. It did okay its first couple of weeks. It had a lot of interest in it. And then Amazon decided to pull it out of beta and unrelease it. Now, it hadn't fully launched because it was in a beta, but they decided after a couple of weeks to unlaunch it, which was very bizarre. But a lot of people just kind of figured, okay, like this could be good. It was in a very rough state. It needed a lot of work. So we kind of figured this would be a good decision. And now they've decided to completely abandon it and announce that they are no longer developing the game. And they've moved all of their other employees to other projects, which I want to say it was like a month ago, maybe even 2 months ago at this point. I played the Amazon MMO New World. It was brought out into a beta. Was it technically a beta, an alpha, an early access, an early phase? Because they decided to delay it a couple of months before the full release. And I thought that it was okay. I did definitely think that it needed a lot of work, but apparently Amazon is putting a lot more focus on that game. But yes, Amazon has completely abandoned Crucible, which I'm shocked by, honestly. We're going to be discussing The Batman. Now, The Batman is a movie that I've talked about quite a bit. I'm pretty excited for it. I'm a huge fan of Batman, and I'm always excited to see more Batman movies, Batman-focused stories. And a couple of weeks ago, I talked about how Robert Pattinson apparently had COVID. They had to pause the production of the movie for a couple of weeks. I think it was only about 2 weeks. And now there are rumors coming out that he didn't really have COVID, and that they paused the production for the movie because they basically wanted to give him a break because he has been so hard to work with. He has been extremely difficult to work with. He's been giving them a lot of problems. So they figured, let's say he has COVID. He doesn't really have COVID. And let's just like give him a couple of weeks to cool down. So hopefully we can continue filming the movie and hopefully we can get this movie done. Which weren't rumors I was expecting to hear. But apparently those are some very... some rumors that have very strong sources behind them. And we're also going to be talking about a fun little Star Wars topic. How Star Wars confirms Force lightning is a dark side power despite Rey using it in The Rise of Skywalker. Oh my gosh, they can just not... They just cannot stop retconning things for these Star Wars movies. The recent trilogy, the sequel trilogy, the bullshit trilogy is what I like to call it, has been awful since day one. It has had so many problems, and they've decided we're just gonna retcon some more stuff in it, because honestly, why not? Like, I mean, we might as well, right? You think that the first time around they would actually make the movies good. They would actually kind of know what they're doing. They would actually put effort into the movies before they put them out. But apparently that's not the case because they have to retcon. Well, they have retconned a bunch of stuff in the movies, and now they're retconning something else. Which just, it kind of baffles me because when Disney got a hold of Lucasfilms, I personally thought that they were going to do good with them. I figured they have so many more resources that they can put into these movies that they just would be so much better. We'd see high quality movies, great actors picked, amazing writing, fantastic visuals, and unfortunately I feel like these movies just have really flopped. I do think that the visuals were pretty good. They were pretty standard Disney. Because Disney obviously put so much into these movies, but the movies all around, I've said it before, were kind of shit, and unfortunately, they just keep adding to the pile. So, those are the topics that we are going to be discussing tonight, but before we get into them, hello everyone, I hope that your evening is going well, I hope that you are all doing good. The Force Awakens was okay. I agree, anime manga fan. I think that The Force Awakens was a good basis for a trilogy. I have always stuck by that. I don't think as a standalone movie it was great, but I think that it could have been a good basis to lead into an amazing story. And unfortunately, I just think that they really dropped the ball on it. I just think that they really did a poor job on the characters. That was my main problem with the movies, were the characters, and obviously the characters are the most important thing in a movie most of the time, but I thought that the general plot wasn't the worst. Having, like, a Palpatine grandchild, like, in the mix. It's just that they didn't figure that out until the last movie. They had no build up to that. We had no fucking clue who Rey was. We had no clue who Kylo was. And it just felt all very messy, which was the big problem, in my opinion, with the trilogy, with the shit trilogy. As a Star Wars fan, I really thought that they were going to go with the Jason and Jania Solo story. I thought that at the end they were going to end kind of with a Luke and Leia having Rey and Kylo be brother and sister. If you don't already know, that is in the expanded universe. It is in novels that are not canon anymore, apparently. Disney can't decide what's canon and what isn't anymore, but I thought that that's the route that they were going to go in with the films, and they just didn't. I was so looking forward to a Jason and Jania Solo story. I was like, oh, fuck yeah, this is gonna be so good. We're gonna see like this epic brother and sister at the end fighting. Who knows who the bad guy will be? I thought they were gonna throw us a bombshell in The Last Jedi. I thought that we were gonna see like this brother and sister, Jedi and Sith, fighting someone. And it just turned into bullshit. It was just so bad. It was so bad. Anyway, we're not even on the Star Wars topic yet. We're not even there. And I'm already pissed about it. They need to give Robert Pattinson huge portions of soy protein and make him lift heavy things, then put them down. I know. I mean, he's just such a lazy actor. It's unfortunate because I personally don't mind Robert Pattinson. I think that he's an okay actor. I know that like Twilight, obviously, Twilight is Twilight, but besides that, he was like okay in the small role he had in Harry Potter as Cedric Diggory. The Lighthouse was a fantastic movie. There was another movie, The King, was actually pretty good. I thought that his part was interesting, even though I fucking hated his accent, and his accent was the worst thing that I've ever heard. It just was terrible. I think that he's an okay actor. I just think that he's unfortunately extremely lazy, and he doesn't want to put in the time to become a better actor. So it leads to problems like this, which we're going to talk about. They should have kept Ben Affleck, in my opinion. He was awesome. I agree, Chief. I was a huge fan of Ben Affleck as Batman. I really did enjoy him. I thought that he was very good. Was he the best Batman? No. But was he the worst? Not even close to it. He was top 3 Batman for me. I mean, I thought he was really good. It's unfortunate that they had a lot of problems with him too, actually. It wasn't even that they didn't want to write any more movies for him. Apparently, it was him that was being extremely difficult, so I don't know why they keep picking the fucking soy boys for Batman, but we need a real actor for Batman. Not Robert Pattinson and apparently Ben Affleck, who whines when he doesn't get his way. Why do they have to keep picking the bad ones for Batman, okay? Just pick someone good. Just lay it on us. Give us someone mildly attractive that can lift weights when he's told to by his trainers for a role, isn't wearing an oversized coat because they love to put oversized coats on Bruce Wayne, and someone that just, I don't know, can mildly act. Michael Keaton was the best Batman. I don't know about that. Personally, I'm a Val Kilmer fan, but Michael Keaton was okay. George Clooney, no. Don't even say that in here. You're banned. Love the channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you all for stopping by. All right, we should probably start on the first topic of the night, unless we're gonna have a 3-hour talk stream. YouTube's kind of working tonight, which is fantastic. I love when YouTube actually works. All right, we'll get to Batman and my Batman rants in a little while, but for the first topic of the night, I wanted to discuss Disney. Now, obviously, a lot of industries right now are messed up because of COVID. COVID has wreaked a lot of havoc on a lot of different industries, and unfortunately, when it comes to resorts and theme parks, they have been hit very, very badly because so many places can't have more than a couple hundred people in a certain amount of space. So, of course, places like Walt Disney World have been affected quite a lot by that, but Disney to lay off 6,700 non-union Walt Disney World employees as part of a 28,000 layoff announcement. Now, Disney did keep a lot of the employees for quite a couple of months because they didn't want to just instantly lay off people when COVID started. They've been trying really hard to get their resorts back open, to get like places like Walt Disney World back open, but unfortunately they just haven't been able to do that in a timely manner. So now we're leading to many people being laid off, especially during a pandemic. Is so hard to think about and is so unfortunate to think about because these are people that are going through the same things, and they worked at a place like Walt Disney World. They figured there will never be a problem while I'm working here. I'll never be laid off. It's not like it will ever close. But unfortunately, the biggest of the companies are really feeling the struggle right now. So the Walt Disney Company will lay off 6,700 non-union Walt Disney World employees as part of their announcement that they would be laying off 28,000 employees in their Disney Parks, Experiences, and Products division. The Disney Parks and Experiences and Products division includes Disney theme parks, Imagineering, and the Disney Cruise Line. Obviously, no one's going on cruise lines right now. No one's able to go to theme parks because most of them are closed down. It's very unfortunate for the people that did work here. And I'm not just saying it's unfortunate for these people only because there are so many industries that are affected right now, but there are people that, worked at theme parks that are being extremely affected by this. So the Orlando Sentinel reports that these non-union employees will be losing their jobs on December 4th, 2020, right before the Christmas season. I do honestly wish Disney would have just kind of stuck it out another month. Disney would have told people, we're going to pay you until January 1st, 2021, because there are holidays coming up, not only Christmas. There's Christmas, there's Hanukkah, Thanksgiving, whatever you celebrate. There are many different holidays coming up. So it's unfortunate that they're laying people off right before the holiday season. A lot of employees have expressed their sadness kind of about this on social media, saying, you're a huge company, you're one of the biggest companies, can't you just pay us another month? But continuing on with the article, Disney Vice President of Employee Relations Jim Bowden wrote a letter to the state of Florida explaining the decision to lay off the 6,700 employees. He explained, due to the continuing business impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic, we have made the very difficult decision to reduce our workforce. Now, when it comes to a company like Disney, unfortunately, they have so many employees, they have so many people that work for them. They can't care about every single person. They can't care about every single Sally and Harry that unfortunately is being laid off. But in my opinion, they're such a massive company, they can just give them one extra month of pay. What does it matter if you move it from December to January? Come on now. As for the 28,000 people losing their jobs across the board at Disney Parks, Experiences, and Product Division, the chief of the division revealed that 67% of the 28,000 people being cut are part-time employees. He wrote in a letter to employees that read, "It will take time for all of us to process this information and its impact. We will be scheduling appointments with our affected salaried and non-union hourly employees over the next few days." My problem with hearing statements like this is, yes, we know that there's probably people that are upset about all of these employees being fired, but they say it's going to take time for all of us to process this information. Disney probably could give two fucks less. They don't care. These are just employees for them. They lay people off all of the time. I do truly hope that they care and that they do feel sad and remorseful towards these employees, but unfortunately, they're cutting them because they're not working, and they're cutting them because they don't want to take that extra money out of their pockets until places can reopen. He added, additionally, today we will begin the process of discussing next steps with the unions. The news of these layoffs come after the Walt Disney Company's third quarter fiscal earnings, where they claim they suffered an approximately $3.5 billion adverse impact on operating income at our parks, experiences, and product segment due to the revenue lost as a result of the closures. Disney specifically indicated that their parks, experiences, and products had a $1.96 billion operating income loss at their parks division for the third quarter ending June 27th, 2020. This is a lot of fucking money, okay? Losing $3.5 billion, $2 billion, that's a lot of money. But to a company like Disney, it's really not a lot, okay? Yes. It ends up being a chunk of change. But to them, it's like barely touching how much money they really make. Do you guys know what I'm saying? They would go on to state that the parks, experiences, and products revenue for the quarter decreased 85% to $1 billion, and segment operating results decreased $3.7 billion to a loss of $2 billion. They explained these numbers, saying lower operating results for the quarter were due to decreases at both domestic and international parks and experiences businesses, and to a lesser extent at our merchandise licensing and retail businesses. They went on to reiterate that the total net inverse impact on COVID-19 on segment operating income in the quarter was approximately $3.5 billion. They're basically just trying to cover their asses, saying, look at all this money we lost. Look at all this money we lost. We're impacted too. Poor us. Feel bad for us. Don't yell at us because we're firing employees. Which, as I've said, plenty of companies are losing money right now. There are plenty of companies who unfortunately won't survive the COVID-19 pandemic. Their businesses will not survive. But Disney is not a company that we should particularly feel bad for. They are massive. They have plenty of money to go around. Yes, to an extent, I kind of feel bad for them because, you know, they've made some good things in the past, but with the way that they've acted lately, I don't feel as bad. Disney explained the addition for more than 60 years, the 4 keys of safety, courtesy, show, and efficiency have provided a foundation for our culture and guided our renowned approach to service as we've welcomed guests from all over the world. As we keep moving... Hello? Did my cat just do something? Is there a ghost? Hello? What was that? Weird. As we keep moving forward and working together to drive meaningful cultural change, we are introducing inclusion, oh for fuck, as the new key that will be rolling out the 5 keys globally across the segment. So now we have safety, courtesy, show, efficiency, and inclusion. Why do you care about inclusion during a pandemic? Just get your consumers back. Don't worry about freaking inclusion right now. Like, yes, inclusion is extremely important. I'm not saying that it's not important, but we know inclusion to them just means, like, we're gonna spew all this talk about, like, inclusion and diversity, so hopefully it will make us more money. They don't truly care. Also, yes, it was my cat. Jeez. Freaking the heck out of me, cat. The rumor came from user Phoenix on the WDW Magic forums, who explained the Walt Disney Company is about to experience some of its deepest layoffs I have ever witnessed in my adult life. They added, what you are about to see from WDC will be shocking, and it will permanently change their business forever. The bloat is about to be gone. The mediocrity that's failed upwards all of our lives is about to be purged. A new company is emerging. Boy, I wish. I hope that this user isn't lying. If this user is lying, I'm gonna find their email and send them a heated letter. There are rumors currently floating around about how apparently Disney is going to be changing their business model, and they are basically giving up on theaters. There is a rumor that Disney is done with theaters. After COVID, and after just kind of seeing the success of Disney Plus, that they are going to go to mainly releasing their movies on Disney Plus, kind of like Mulan, you pay a standard fee. As long as you're paying your subscription, you get access to the movie if you've paid like the $30 on top of your subscription. And that they are giving up on theaters, and they are just after COVID, with theaters still not being opened up in a lot of places. They don't want to hold back their movies anymore. They do really just want to release their products and continue making money, hopefully. So, yeah, that is another rumor that is coming out about Disney, but that's all that I really had to discuss with this one. Disney is laying off a lot of their employees, 6,700 non-union as part of their 28,000 layoff announcement. It's an unfortunate impact that COVID-19 has had on the entertainment industry and just Disney specifically. A lot of companies are going through this right now, and I do feel bad for the workers who have had to endure this, who have had to question when they're going to be let go, when does their paycheck stop, what do they do from here, especially if they're employees that have worked at, Walt Disney World, for example, for many, many years. It is very unfortunate. I do hope that Disney does at least pay them until December. I personally wish that they would pay them until January, just because that is the holiday season. You're literally cutting off people right at the holiday season. You're a massive company. You can afford just a little bit more for those employees who worked for you and who stuck by you. But that's all that I really had to discuss with this topic. We will move on to the next one in just a moment. You're going to have to look at Ray's screaming face for a couple of seconds, everyone. I heard rumors of Walmart is going to close early and have their parking lots as theaters. That'd be interesting. I haven't heard that rumor yet. But imagine if companies like, let's say Walmart, started using their giant parking lots in giant spaces outside for things like drive-in theaters. I know that there aren't many drive-in theaters left across the United States. There are some left, but there are not a lot of drive-in theaters left around the US, but the ones that are still around are booming in business right now. I was reading, I have to find it because I've been considering talking about it in a video, kind of in-depth, the pandemic impact, but apparently drive-in theaters have seen like this massive increase in business, and it's like the largest increase in business they've seen in like 10 years or something like that, which is nutso. And apparently there are larger companies looking into trying to open their own drive-in theaters and whatnot. I mean, it's risky because once the pandemic is under control more, I think that they unfortunately will decline unless some company, let's even say like Disney, can capitalize on things like drive-in theaters and can actually make them super memorable. I mean, drive-in theaters have a lot of nostalgia around them for a lot of people, but I think that if a big company tried to capitalize on drive-in theaters, that they could. I just don't know if a company will do that anytime soon. It's risky. It really is. It's okay. She's screaming at the patriarchy. Yeah, fuck the patriarchy. The drive-in in New Hampshire and Mass are racking in money right now. Oh, yeah. Like I said, there aren't many drive-in theaters left across the United States. Their numbers have definitely dwindled. But the ones that are around currently are booming with business. They are packed all of the time. They're really trying to stretch their numbers because a lot of drive-in theaters used to just show a couple of movies a night. Now they're literally going all night long because they're so packed, it's great to see. I think that personally that it's great to see that, but I don't think that after the pandemic is done, drive-in theaters will continue to rack up those sales when things go a little bit more back to normal and people feel comfortable going back to theaters. But I think that if a company capitalizes on things like drive-in theaters now, they definitely have a chance to make it big after the pandemic. I think that this is an opportunity that some companies should try to start capitalizing on. Drive-in theaters are so much fun. We would get full. See, everyone, I'm sure in chat, not everyone in chat, but I'm sure a lot of people in chat have memories of going to drive-in theaters. So not only is it kind of very nostalgic for a lot of people, people feel comfortable sitting in their own cars. You also get to watch a new movie. So, yeah. Yeah, I know that there's not a lot in New England. There's like one in New Hampshire, one in Massachusetts. I think there's two in Massachusetts, actually. But yeah, it's just a lot of nostalgia, and we could potentially see drive-in theaters do better even after the pandemic, which would be good to see if it, if someone can capitalize on it. All right, you guys. Vera, time to dust off your roller skates, right? I saw the Power Rangers, the movie, in a drive-in theater. I remember seeing Inception at a drive-in theater. And it was just, it was such an experience. See, I don't remember what the other movie was, but Inception on the giant screen it was good. It was good. All right, you guys, we are going to move on to the next topic of the night. I want to adjust the screen really quickly. For some reason, Ray's face is kind of bothering me. Sitting here staring at Ray's face, realizing that... Okay, there we go. That's better. Ray, please stop looking at me like that. I'm a woman too. You're supposed to like me. Okay, so we are going to move on to the next topic, which is Star Wars. Now, the new Star Wars movies, and Star Wars in general, has just been a disaster over the past couple of years. I thought when Disney acquired Lucasfilms, I thought that it was going to do very good for the franchise. I thought that Star Wars was going to be taken to new places. I thought that the future of Star Wars was just going to be amazing. I thought that they had so many resources. Leon, she's judging your misdeeds. I just thought that they had so many resources that it was going to be so good for the franchise, but unfortunately, Star Wars has been extremely messed up since Disney got their hands on Lucasfilms. And now we are seeing even more dumb retcons because the storytelling and the writing is just so bad. Okay, the writing for the past 3 movies, for the shit trilogy, has been so terribly bad that it's like the writers didn't even think about what they were doing. Their directors didn't even know what they were doing, and they've freaking admitted it. But nothing felt cohesive, and now we're really seeing how many cracks there were in this story because of how many retcons have happened over the past, I don't even know, like the past 6 months. There's been like 3 or 4 major retcons. But Star Wars confirms Force lightning is a dark side power despite Rey using it in The Rise of Skywalker. A big problem that I had with the current movies, the sequel trilogy, the bad trilogy, the shit trilogy, the awful trilogy, is that there was no distinction between light side and dark side. It's like, let's look at Kylo for a minute. I kind of liked the depth that Kylo had because he was dark side, but he did definitely feel those pulls to the light side. It wasn't written properly, it wasn't done properly, but I think that it could have been executed properly with a little bit of better writing, but his character just turned out to be really bad because of that terrible writing. Rey, she was light side, well, pretty light side, and then suddenly she had like this random like emo phase, okay? Rey had the most bizarre emo phase I've ever seen in a character ever, where she went dark side for like 2 seconds. It didn't make sense at all. And then we got to the end of The Rise of Skywalker, and it still didn't make sense even with finding out who her family was. So Star Wars confirms Force lightning is a dark side power despite Rey using it in The Rise of Skywalker. Someone that's trained for like 5 minutes in the Force, by the way. Can I just say that? She has no clue really what the light side is. Never fucking mind the dark side. She has absolutely no clue what the Force really is. And suddenly she's just a master of the dark side, even though she's been kind of trained in the light side for like a year. And then she can just master everything because, hey, it's fine. So Star Wars and Lucasfilm confirmed that Force lightning is a dark side power in the recently published The Star Wars book. We knew this, okay? If you are a fan of Star Wars at all, if you have even, I don't know, watched a Star Wars movie besides these ones, if you've ever read a Star Wars book, if you've ever played a Star Wars game, you knew that Force lightning was a dark side power. We been knew, okay, Disney? And then for some reason, there was this amount of time that we were being told, well, the Force lightning's kind of like a neutral power. Like, anyone could technically use it, even though no light side user has, like, ever used Force lightning. It is always has been and always will be a dark side power. And they tried to say for a little while, well, Force lightning's kind of, you know, one of sort of those things that's, you know, a little bit kind of, you know, middle. That doesn't work in Star Wars, okay? I'm sorry. Like, having neutral powers, especially ones like Force lightning, that doesn't work. No matter how much you try to sell it, it doesn't work. So they're finally confirming, okay, we're going to give this one to you guys. We're going to give this one to you fans. It's dark side again. We knew. It's like they tried to tell us it wasn't when we knew that it was. So a screenshot from the book posted to Twitter by a user confirms Lucasfilms and Star Wars still believe this is a dark side power, despite Rey using the ability in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. In a section titled Unlimited Power: The Sith Order, a brief overview of the Sith are given. It begins with the Sith are an order founded by a splinter group of Jedi who discover the raw power that can be achieved by devotion to the dark side. The book then reveals that the Force lightning is exclusive to dark side users. The Sith's focus on the dark opens up powers that a Jedi dare not wield, such as the ability to corrupt the Force through focused rage, to launch deadly lightning strikes from their fingertips. Oh yeah, I'm sure that a Jedi's totally using that. They tried to tell us for like 2 years that Jedi all of the time use Force lightning. We knew that they didn't. We knew that. We tried to tell the writers of Star Wars that Jedi don't use that, and now they're kind of coming out, backtracking, going, okay. We'll listen to the fans for once. You were right. It feels great to be right because you know your shit. It's sad. It's sad when you're a writer. I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. It's sad when you're a fan and you know more than a writer for this giant franchise. It is so pitiful that these are the writers that they came up with. So the book confirms StarWars.com's databank entry on Force lightning that also states the ability is specifically a dark side ability. The databank entry reads, Force lightning is a dark side ability used to torture, disfigure, and even kill one's victims. Blue in color, Sith shoot Force lightning from their hands by calling on their hatred and aggressive feelings. We've also seen purple Force lightning. In most of the video games, Force lightning is depicted as purple, but that's fine. I mean, blue, purple, close enough. We'll just say lighting differences. So, you know, Snapchat filters. However, while a deadly weapon, it is not unstoppable. Force lightning can be deflected and absorbed by a lightsaber, and select Jedi have proved able to neutralize the technique through the power of the light side. With this confirmation, it still leaves Rey use of the ability in The Rise of Skywalker unexplained. It is so sad to know that their writing ability is so bad that when a main character uses an ability like Force lightning, you have no clue how or why she uses it because they don't explain it. How did she learn Force lightning? Okay, I'm gonna have to explain this to the Star Wars writers a little bit. Characters that have the Force aren't instantly knowledgeable on the Force, okay? Just because you have the Force doesn't mean you know how to use it. It doesn't mean you know how to neutralize it. It doesn't mean you know how to utilize it to the best of its ability. You might have the Force and you might never know how to, I don't know, levitate something. You may never know how to throw a lightsaber to you and have it come back. You never may know how to use Force lightning. So how the actual fuck does Rey know how to use Force lightning after only being trained for a little while? Awful, terrible, just trash writing. Rey, who has not trained whatsoever in the dark side of the Force, uses the ability when she is attempting to stop a First Order ship from leaving the surface of Pisana. I don't even remember how to say it. Yeah, Pisana. Rey begins by using the Force to halt the ship's movement, essentially suspending it in its atmosphere. However, Kylo Ren challenges her and begins to use the Force to try and keep the ship moving. Anger is eventually shown on Rey's face, and then the Force lightning erupts from her fingers, destroying the ship that she believes Chewbacca is on. This woman's crazy. Okay, this is the worst character. She is so emo. Okay, at first we all laughed at Kylo Ren. We said Kylo Ren is so emo. He's just a poorly written character. But after looking at Rey, honestly, I don't know. I'm more convinced every single day, every single time I read lore, that they are brother and sister because they're so freaking emotional. They can't control themselves at all. After blowing up the ship, Rey goes into a state of shock and appears confused as to how she manifested the power. In fact, she even looks down at her hands and appears what to be an attempt to make sense of what just happened. You don't magically just shoot Force lightning out of your fingers, okay? It takes dedicated dark side Force users years, and I mean years, to actually learn how to control the Force, like Force lightning abilities, and to use it properly. She most likely would have killed herself if she did that, okay? If you had no clue how to use Force lightning, when you're basically, how do I explain this? When you're stopping using Force lightning, it would basically bounce back into you and, like, I don't know, destroy your arms. She would have nubs as arms right now because she wouldn't know how to stop it if she really looked down at her hands and was like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing. If she was so out of control, she wouldn't have known what to do. She would have ended up burning herself to a freaking lightning crisp because she doesn't know what she's doing, but the writing's so awful that it's just like, oh, she's just doing these moves that take Master of the Dark Side years to learn just because she's a Mary Sue. Everyone... Well, I don't want to say everyone. There's a dedicated group of people on the internet that say Rey is not a Mary Sue. She's a well-written character. Okay, Mary Sue. She can just use one of the strongest dark side Force abilities, even though she's trained in the light side for like a year and a half. That makes sense. This is specifically seen in The Return of the Jedi when Luke Skywalker realizes he is beginning to delve into the dark side. Instead of continuing to embrace the dark side of the Force, Luke rejects it. He throws his lightsaber to the ground and declares he would rather die than join the dark side. Luke tells Sidious, I'll never turn to the dark side. You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi like my father before me. This choice is also seen in The Revenge of the Sith, where Anakin Skywalker chooses to embrace the dark side. Who wrote Force Lightning? I'm not sure. Force Lightning has been around since the beginning of Star Wars, basically. It's not something that's new, that's for sure. When Sidious tells Anakin to become his apprentice and learn to use the dark side of the Force, Anakin responds, I will do whatever you ask. I pledge myself to your teachings, he later adds, and then he is knighted by Darth Vader by Sidious. Nevertheless, this is confirmation that just another knock against the rise of Skywalker in the film's complete lack of understanding regarding the world of Star Wars, and more specifically, how the Force works. It is just so disappointing as a fan of Star Wars to literally know more than the writers of Star Wars themselves. It is heartbreaking in a way, because as a fan of Star Wars, I've put years into playing Star Wars game, reading books, watching the movies, learning the lore, learning how that world works. And now, apparently, I'm fucking more knowledge in Star Wars than the writers of Star Wars. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but damn, I could have totally written a better Star Wars story than The Rise of Skywalker. Give me one movie, Disney. As a fan of Star Wars, just give me one movie. I can do 20 times better at least. Maybe even 30 times. I have confidence in myself. Welcome everyone that is just getting to the stream. I hope that your night is going well. Really quickly, if you guys are enjoying the stream, please make sure to give it a like. If you're not, give it a dislike. Today's video was extremely messed up. Okay, I got so many messages on Discord. Vera, Why did you shut the comments off on your video? I thought you didn't believe in that. I'm like, I didn't. Okay, last night YouTube for 5 hours wasn't registering views for anyone. And then today I posted my video and YouTube kept shutting the like and dislike off. I 10 times maybe had to go into my settings and return on comments and likes. It kept shutting off likes and dislikes, and it kept shutting off comments. I was mad. I was like, stop doing this. Stop it. I could take criticism, YouTube. You're the one that can't. Maybe even 30 times? I can make a Star Wars movie that's 30 times better than The Rise of Skywalker. This is my statement. Someone give me a chance. Shit, my 8 and 7-year-old daughters can write a better fucking movie? Hey, Chief, you must have some smart daughters. Does this channel have a Discord? Yes, we do have a Discord. I will post the Discord into the chat. If you guys are not already part of it, please make sure to join it. I tag you all when I go live in case YouTube does not notify you. I post my videos there. We have multiple sections, multiple channels. Yeah, I just posted the Discord link in the chat. I posted it a couple times for all of you. Also, if you are not supporting the channel already, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. All of the support really does help out the channel. None of my content is currently monetized, so all of your donations go right back into the channel. Helps me get new games, products, new equipment, all of that fun stuff. Alright, so that's all that I really had to discuss with Star Wars. I've gone on quite a Star Wars rant already. We're going to move into the next topic in just a moment, which is a topic I'm actually pretty disappointed in, to be honest. I feel like this situation is so random, so extremely bizarre, that it's like, why? Okay, Amazon, just why? A pile of hot garbage is better than The Rise of Soy Walker. It's so disappointing that this trilogy was wasted. It could have been good. Like I've said, I'll say it again. I thought that The Force Awakens wasn't necessarily a bad basis to a trilogy. I thought that, yeah, as a standalone movie, it was pretty bad. It had a lot of inconsistencies, but I thought that they could have made something good out of it as long as they really had a good idea as to the direction they were going in, but unfortunately they just didn't go in a good direction with it. I wish they had. I'm not someone who wants things to fail. I would have loved to see this trilogy be great. Even though I'm not a fan of Daisy Ridley, even though I'm not a fan of whoever that's part of it, if this movie could have been good, or all of the movies could have been good, I would have supported it, definitely. The Force Awakens was okay. Yeah, it was an okay movie, but it was a good basis. Like, they could have totally worked off of that for something good. They just didn't. They didn't at all, everyone. It was bad, okay? It was bad. Really quickly, before I get into the next topic, I'm just going to post some links in chat for all of you in case you want to support. Also, make sure to follow me on social media, like Twitter, Parler. Also, join our Discord. We're very active there. I've seen The Last Jedi only once in The Rise of Skywalker 0 times. I have seen each of the new movies, the sequel trilogy, once. I am someone who has watched the other Star Wars movies. I can't even tell you how many times. I am someone who has played the Star Wars movies literally on repeat, just to have something on, okay? They were always my go-to movies, but the sequel trilogy, I just don't have a lot of interest in. I've watched them each once because I wanted to, when I talked about them, give them a fair chance. I didn't want to be one of those people who said this is awful but has never seen it, and unfortunately they were just bad. I wish that they would just admit that they screwed up. Look at Mulan. I 100% agree. Honestly, I wish that Disney would just admit, or Lucasfilms, I wish that Lucasfilms would just kind of admit that they did bad. Their writing was bad, the characters were bad, and we could all move past it. If they could just admit that, honestly, I feel like I would be like, all right, so give us something better. I mean, looking at The Mandalorian's a pretty good show. Oh my gosh, what is the animated show called? Why can't I think of it? Clone Wars. Why did that take me like 10 seconds to think of? Clone Wars, the last season was really good. I think that they could have done so much better, and unfortunately they didn't. I didn't watch the last Star Wars. Well, maybe watch highlights on YouTube. It wasn't very good. Alright, you guys, so we are going to move into the next topic of the night. Now, when it comes to Amazon, Amazon has been very questionable in the past when it comes to video games and their plans in the video game industry. But Crucible is a game that they launched, unlaunched, and now have officially canceled. So, Crucible was a game that they decided to put into an early beta. They basically said, we want to release the game in the state that it is in right now because we really want player feedback. And they were really adamant on the fact that they said they wanted player feedback. They said, we really want people to play our game. They were giving out a lot of free copies to content creators just to get a lot of hype around it, to get a lot of people interested in the game. And unfortunately, after it was in beta for, I believe it was like 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, they decided to unlaunch it, which was a very suspicious move. It was a very questionable move because usually when you launch a game, you don't unlaunch it. When a game goes from beta to official release, sometimes they'll close the servers for like a month or something. They'll wipe the characters that exist, wipe the accounts that exist, kind of get ready and prepare for an official launch, which is one thing. But they said that they released the game and it just wasn't done yet. They wanted to put a lot of more time into the game. They wanted to give it a lot more, attention before they officially launched it, which was a little bit suspicious that they just kind of launched it in a beta, made a ton of money off of it, and then unlaunched it, because they did make quite a lot of money off of it. There were a lot of content creators playing it, but after they kind of unlaunched it, they went really radio silent for a little while, and now they have officially announced that they are abandoning the game and that they are done development on it after 6 years of working on this game. After 6 years, they've literally just decided, we're done. The game's over. See you later. How does that work? I have no idea why they would ever choose to launch a game in a beta and then unlaunch it and cancel it. So, Amazon abandons Crucible, one of its biggest video game projects. As someone who was excited for Amazon's MMO New World, I did purchase it. I played a little bit of the early access that happened a month and a half ago. This gives me no confidence in Amazon at all whatsoever. Their first major game, their first major release, they abandoned and basically said, we're out. So Amazon abandons Crucible, one of its biggest video game projects. This is a USA Today article. Amazon recently pulled the plug on Crucible, a high-budget video game it had been developing for 6 years. 6 years! Stating that it didn't see a healthy, sustainable future ahead for the third-person shooter. So Amazon Game Studios initially launched Crucible in May, but pulled it back into a closed beta in June. After receiving negative reviews. Okay, so I kind of messed up the situation explaining it. So they launched it, and then they pulled it into a closed beta, and then they unlaunched it. How does this work? Many critics claimed Crucible borrowed elements of popular multiplayer games like Fortnite, Overwatch, and League, but failed to blend them into an appealing new experience. Now, I personally didn't get a chance to play Crucible. It was a game that at first, when it launched, I thought that it looked interesting, but I figured I'm going to give it a little bit more time. It was in the beta. I figured I'm just not comfortable with spending. I think that it was $40. I don't believe that it was a full 60, but I think that it was 40. So I kind of just told myself, I'm going to wait for the beta to be over. I'm going to kind of wait for them to fix it a little bit more. But I initially thought that it looked kind of interesting, and I guess I'll never play Crucible now. So back in 2016, Amazon Game Studios announced the development of 3 high-budget games: Breakaway, Crucible, and New World. Amazon canceled the team-based brawler Breakaway in 2018. So the cancellation of Crucible leaves the MMORPG New World at its last major video game standing. Amazon is having a fucking shitty track record. They canceled Breakaway, their team-based brawler game in 2018 that they had been developing at that time for 4 years, okay? They had 4 years into Breakaway. They cut it. Before it even launched, they decided we're done with this project. And now they have canceled Crucible after 6 years of development. And we don't officially know the numbers of the amount of money that they spent on this game, but apparently it's just a rumor they spent $40 million on Crucible. 6 years, $40 million freaking dollars. And they've just canceled it after launching it, unlaunching it, and now it's dead. Like I said, I'm someone who is excited for New World. I think that it had a lot of... Go away, I don't care about the Apple event. I do, but not right now, as I accidentally clicked it. New World did seem to have quite a bit of potential, in my opinion. I thought that New World looked interesting. I played it. I thought that it did need a lot fixed. It did need a lot changed, but I thought that this is the early access. It's not even supposed to release for another 4 to 5 months. They can definitely change quite a bit in that 4 to 5 months. I am going to be honest. I have no confidence in New World now. She bought it. Yes, I did buy into New World. I didn't buy Crucible. I didn't get to try Crucible. I did buy New World. I streamed a little bit of the early access. It was like a month or a month and a half ago. I streamed a couple of nights of it. I thought that it was good. I thought that it definitely needed a lot of work. It was really rough for the state that it was in, but it was an okay basis of a game. I'm a huge MMO fan. I am happy to try any new MMORPG, but seeing 2 large games canceled from them, and New World being delayed by half of a year gives me honestly such little confidence in Amazon's ability at this point. So the article goes on to read, Amazon initially established Amazon Game Studios in 2012 to develop tablet-oriented games for the Amazon App Store. In 2014, it announced that it would start developing PC games, then expanded the division by buying Double Helix Games and hiring several well-known game designers. It also bought the same top gaming streaming platform Twitch that same year. Amazon Game Studios revealed its 3 launch games at TwitchCon 2 years later, but had some major cracks appear after the cancellation of Breakaway. Last year, it laid off dozens of developers and scrapped several unannounced games. They have a terrible record for abandoning games. It also partnered with Liu, a Chinese game publisher, to develop a free-to-play MMORPG based on Lord of the Rings. The shift towards cost-cutting partnerships, along with the new cancellation of 2 high-profile games, suggests that New World could be Amazon's last chance to gain a foothold in the crowded video game publishing market. I wanted to quickly read through Crucible's official statement. I don't know why Crucible's website. Okay, so here's the final Crucible. I have to move this down. Final Crucible developer update. Yet at the top right, let me move this. At the top right, it literally still says beta sign up. I don't think you should be allowing people to sign up for beta for a dead game still, just to be honest. So it says final Crucible developer update. Essence Hunters. In July, we moved Crucible into a closed beta. We made a list of features we felt would enhance the player experience, which we shared publicly on our roadmap, and with the exception of custom games, which we expect to ship in the coming days, we completed all of them. With those features shipped, our next step is to evaluate the feedback we've heard from you, paired with the data we've collected, to determine our path forward. That evaluation led us to a difficult decision. will be discontinuing development on Crucible. We very much appreciate the way that our fans have rallied around our efforts, and we've loved seeing your responses to the changes we've made over the last few months, but ultimately we didn't see a healthy, sustainable future ahead for Crucible. We'll be transitioning our game teams to focus on New World and other upcoming projects from Amazon Games. We're offering a full refund for any purchases made. You can find information on our support page, and we will be disabling credit purchases within Crucible. And then it says in the next few weeks we'll be hosting a final playtest and community celebration, both in-game and on our official Discord, and these servers stay up until Monday, November 9th, 2020. This is such a bizarre situation. They launched a game, put it into beta after they launched it, and then they canceled it. Why would you do this? You have just ruined a lot of your credibility in the industry. And like the article says, they've canceled quite a few projects in the past. They are known to do this. They've canceled Breakaway. They've now canceled Crucible. They've canceled a couple of other things that we don't know what they were exactly. But they have a reputation for canceling things in the industry, for canceling their games. This gives me no hope for New World. This gives me no hope for this MMORPG Lord of the Rings game that they're supposed to be making. I don't trust Amazon. Okay, I have little to no trust in Amazon now, especially with the fact that they are launching Luna. Amazon Luna was just announced, 2 weeks ago? I do have a video of it on the channel if you want to hear about it, but basically it's supposed to be, let me just find an article to reference really quick. Amazon Luna. It is a cloud gaming service. Here, I'll read you guys the just a quick summary of it in case you don't know what Luna is. I did do a video, so feel free to go and watch that. But Amazon recently unveiled Luna, a cloud gaming service that will compete against Alphabet's Google Stadia, xCloud, and Nvidia's GeForce Now in the next-gen market. So it has channel-based subscriptions like cable television. There's Luna Plus, which costs $5.99 per month and will allow games to be streamed at 1080p 60 FPS for up to 2 devices at once. There's a cross-platform experience. It's powered by Nvidia's hardware. Why did this random other article just pop up? And Luna will be integrated with Twitch and Alexa. It's a very interesting concept, but unfortunately it sounds like it will get very expensive very fast because it is channel-based. So basically, if you want to play Ubisoft's game, you have to pay $5 for Ubisoft's channel. If you want to play, I don't know, Activision's games and they have a channel, you have to pay who knows how much, $10, maybe even $15 to access their games. And there is Luna Plus, which is kind of their default channel, which offers different sort of games. We don't exactly know what games are on them, so I can't really tell you all. But it's supposed to just be kind of a mix of different publishers' games that maybe they don't have their own channel, or they just kind of wanted to throw a random game on there. But they just announced Luna, and now they've announced they've canceled their second big video game in a row. I have little to no hope in Amazon when it comes to the game industry. I'm not going to refund New World. I want to be clear on that. I'm not going to refund New World yet because I do think that it had potential, and I want to wait to see how the game turns out when it launches. But ultimately right now, I have little to no hope in Amazon, and it's very disappointing to see this happen and to see them be so unreliable. But that's all that I really had to discuss when it comes to Amazon and Crucible. We will move on to the final topic in just a moment. I hope that you guys are enjoying the stream. Well, they do allow you to get 4K 120 FPS if you pay for their other subscriptions. I think it's with Luna Plus. I think that, yeah, okay, so yeah, Amazon says 4K streaming is coming soon for both of them. So it will happen eventually. Gaming in a cloud sounds so relaxing. I agree, Leon. I agree. I'm thinking of buying it only after I see some more improvements. Buying New World. I thought that New World was a decent game. It needs a lot of work, though, and I hope that they can do all of the work and that it can survive, but... I just... Honestly, Amazon, you are not fucking impressing me. Luna is going to be bigger than anything else. It will host games from other developers. Yeah, for like $15 per channel. That's the problem, is that it's just like cable. So they're all subscriptions. So let's say you want Ubisoft games. That might be $10 for Ubisoft. Let's say you want Activision games. It might be $10 to $15 for their games. You might want... I don't know, a different developer's games, and their channel may be $5. That's the problem, is that it will eventually rack up to be $50 at the end of the month, $60 at the end of the month, and if the game you want isn't on that publisher's channel, then you have to go to a different platform to play it. Just kind of unfortunate to hear that model. I honestly think that that cable model is extremely bad. It's just like $10 channel here, $5 channel there. It's very bizarre. Yeah. Microsoft bought out Bethesda, yeah, 3 weeks ago. Xbox cloud streaming with Game Pass already takes a massive dump. Agreed, Red Raven. I talk about Game Pass quite a lot. I think that Game Pass is great, and if you're paying for Game Pass, you get xCloud. I think that right now Microsoft has a huge lead. I mean, I agree. Xbox cloud streaming with Game Pass is already one of the better ones. The Luna channel model is insane. It's worse than Stadia. I 100% agree. Stadia, it was bizarre, but Luna is even more bizarre. Like, why did you choose that, okay? Why would you ever think that people would want a cable of gaming? Game Pass is a great deal. Yeah, I agree. It puts us right back into the cable bill hell situation. Exactly, and that's what people want to avoid. That's why a lot of people don't even have traditional cable anymore. You might pay for Hulu, Netflix, one or two others, but that's it. That's why a lot of people left cable, because it got so expensive for all of these random channels that maybe you'd use once in a while. I guess it is what it is. If they want to release something that's going to fail, they can go for it. I'm not going to support that, though. That's for sure. It's just... I don't know why Amazon thought that that would be good. I just really don't understand their mentality behind making a cable gaming service. Honestly. I don't get it. I don't get it. Hold on a second, you guys. Let me check something really quickly. And then we will move on to the final topic of the night. I hope that you're all doing well. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure to give it a like. If you're watching the playback, let me know. Also, really quickly, the notifications didn't pop up, which I'll have to fix Patreon notifications. Thank you so much, Greg, for becoming a $1 Patreon. I do really appreciate it. And thank you, Chief, for becoming a $5 Dark Titan. I really appreciate it, you guys. Thank you so much for becoming supporters. Thank you a ton. All right. So let's move on to the final topic of the night, which I honestly, I hate to say this, because I want superhero movies to be good. I want Batman to be good. When the new Batman movie was announced, the Batman, okay? When we put the in front of everything, it gets 10 times more serious. I was truly hoping that it was going to be a very different experience than we've gotten in the past with Batman. I was really hoping that it was going to be a good experience. I thought that the actor behind it could do a really good job. I thought that the supporting actors were pretty interesting. The choice of villains were pretty cool. I thought overall the concept on paper sounded pretty good. But unfortunately, it does sound like this movie is going to have a lot of problems, and this movie may not go smoothly at all. So, the industry insiders corroborate rumors of Robert Pattinson's difficulty on the set of Batman. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we had heard that the Batman was shut down for 2 weeks, production-wise, because Robert Pattinson had COVID-19. They want to take COVID-19 very seriously, obviously, and apparently they had shut down production for a little while because he had COVID. But now there are rumors circulating on the internet that he didn't really have COVID and they shut down production, basically to give him time to get his shit in order because he was being extremely difficult to work with. So they said, we're gonna give you a little while, get your shit together so you can finish this movie. So a few days ago, we shared with you the rumor broken by YouTuber Doomcock that Robert Pattinson's failure to get into superhero shape for the Batman was the real reason production shut down last month. Their trades reported the unexpected shutdown was due to the Twilight actor coming down with the coronavirus. Doomcock's sources told him that it was simply a cover-up story, and director Matt Reeves sent Pattinson home for a few weeks to do things like bulk up. So at this time, the incident and brewing tensions between Reeves and his lead actor can only be labeled a rumor. However, another party is corroborating the story based on what he has heard. Director, actor, and makeup effects man Gary G. Tunnicliffe, I really hope that I'm saying his name right, help from Hellraiser and Sleepy Hollow, appeared on Midnight's Edge in the morning and was asked about these rumors. His connections told him that there were tensions between Pattinson and Reeves, and the former was being difficult to work with. One of them denied COVID shutting down filming. When he pressed the person if it was something to do with their lead actor, they responded, maybe. What kind of answers that? Maybe. Haha. It's like children. He also heard the rumors of Reeves' shock at Pattinson's size and was worried that the stuntmen are way bigger than him. We saw a couple of months ago at the beginning of the year when this role was announced that Robert Pattinson basically said when shutdown happened that he wasn't working out at all. He was asked during an interview, what are you doing to keep in shape during Lost? Just waiting for my role to go perfectly fine. Is YouTube good? YouTube, are you good? YouTube, are you good? Can you guys still hear me? Can you guys still hear me? I'll wait a second, because it appears that YouTube, I don't know, stopped for a second. If you can hear me, put a 2 in chat. I can hear you? Okay, good, because YouTube decided for a second there, you can't hear me. You guys can hear me, okay. So basically, a couple of months ago, Robert Pattinson said in an interview, I'm doing nothing to bulk up for Batman. He literally said, look at the spams. He literally said months ago, I'm just sitting on my ass and doing nothing, waiting for my role. And honestly, he's so cocky and arrogant and so full of himself that I believed it right away. And a lot of people thought that it wasn't real that he made that statement, but he did. He definitely did. You guys can stop with the 2s now. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate your 2s in chat. I appreciate you. Continuing, he quoted James Cameron, who once said the most powerful person on the set is an actor when you're 2 weeks into filming. They hold all the pennies, really, he explained, since a director is quite beholden to them. So much so, filmmakers will get along just to move the process forward, far from the stereotype of ruthless consequence-based set rules. There's an awful lot of political dancing that has to be done, he said. Like if an actor looks a certain way or hasn't stood up to their obligation, it has to go through their agent and up the chain of command. He continued, while you're doing that kind of thing, production is slowed down or even stopped while these negotiations are being had. He shared his story of the bust-up and frustrations on the set of Blade because director Stephen Norrington was put through 2-hour conversations. every day to hear about people's demands when all he wanted was to finish the movie. He then discussed interactions with an actor in one of his films. The actor changed his mind about the way a line was said in a wide shot versus a close-up in separate takes. He didn't budge despite the pleadings of Tunnicliffe and other actors. If Reeves is having those same situations with Pattinson, it can make very ugly filmmaking, he said, adding he's heard the rumblings that Reeves just wants to be done with the picture. Asked how will impact Warner Brothers' ambitions for a trilogy, he said he sees two outcomes. Robert Pattinson is a nightmare, but the film's potential success could keep him locked in as Batman. The second scenario is if the film flops, Pattinson won't be the caped crusader any longer. To illustrate his point, he cited Val Kilmer's behavior on Batman Forever, leading to the casting of George Clooney. It is very disappointing that Robert Pattinson sounds to be being very difficult. We've heard in the past that Robert Pattinson had been a little bit difficult on some of his previous movies. He had been a little bit difficult on sets of movies after Twilight, because after Twilight, he got very cocky. He kind of felt like, I'm one of the hottest actors in Hollywood right now. What I want will go. I can act the way that I want. People will treat me the way that I want. And unfortunately, it sounds like he hasn't changed his mentality after all of these years. If this movie flops for him, and it gets out that it is true that he was giving them a hard time, I do truly think that, first of all, the trilogy won't happen. It will just be a standalone movie, and a probably really fucking bad standalone movie. But I think that it will really damage his reputation. Being Batman is not an easy role to be cast in. Being Batman is, in my opinion, a very prestigious role. He is a very iconic character, and only a couple of people have played Batman in the past. But I do truly think that if this movie turns out bad, it will ruin Robert Pattinson's reputation, but it will also hurt the character, because we've got another standalone movie that unfortunately doesn't sound like it's going to get a trilogy. I'm going to say it right now. In my opinion, I think with all of the rumors that are circulating, that the trilogy will not happen in this Batman movie. The Batman will be a standalone movie, and Robert Pattinson will only be the Batman in one movie. Hey, if they can even finish this movie. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this stream. We talked about Robert Pattinson and the Batman. We talked about Amazon's Crucible flop. We talked about Star Wars, them retconning more things, and we talked about Disney laying off 6,700 more non-union employees on top of the 28,000 that they had previously laid off. I am going to go to the Q&A portion of the stream now. If you guys have any questions or topics you would like me to discuss, please feel free to put them into chat now, and I will go to the Q&A portion. Wait, there's supposed to be a trilogy again? I thought this was a standalone movie? No. This is supposed to be a trilogy, apparently. It's not confirmed. Let me put it at that. Let me just say that. But Matt Reeves has made it very clear that he wants this to be a trilogy. That he wants this story to go into 3 movies. It's not confirmed. If Robert Pattinson continues to act this way, it's going to definitely be a standalone. But apparently Reeves, when he went into this project, wanted it to be a trilogy. And that's apparently what they talked about it being, not just being a standalone movie. Keaton was the best Bruce Wayne. I don't know if I agree that Michael Keaton was the best Bruce Wayne. He was really good. You know, this depiction of Bruce Wayne isn't my favorite, honestly, but Gotham, the show, oh my gosh. I don't remember the actor's name in Gotham, because he obviously played a younger Bruce Wayne. He played Bruce Wayne when he became Batman. He was phenomenal. I wasn't expecting that movie, or not the movie, the series to go well. I thought that the Gotham series was going to go very bizarre, just because we haven't really seen a ton of young Bruce Wayne on TV. We haven't really seen a lot of that, but he did a phenomenal job. And honestly, I hope when that actor gets older, he has a chance to actually be Batman again. I thought that he was a fantastic Bruce Wayne in Gotham. Gotham was overall just a really, really good show. And I did really like it. Why don't you have an Instagram? Make one and grow your base. I do have an Instagram. I don't post there very often, but I do post updates. Like I posted my microphone update. I do post occasionally there, but I do have an Instagram. All of my social media is Vara_dark. So if you go to Instagram, that is my Instagram. You can go to my Twitter. If you go to my Twitter, I do also have a post linking all of my social media accounts here. I'll put it into chat for you guys. I have a tweet that I have pinned that has all of my social media accounts kind of linked to it so that you all can see them. There you go. I have Twitter, I have Patreon, I have Parler, Instagram, Discord, and BitChute. The best way to support me, though, if you want to support, is following me via Twitter, joining our Discord, and of course becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon, and subscribing, obviously. But I'm sure a lot of you here are subscribed. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to my channel. I appreciate it. Yeah. But the best ways to support are following me on Twitter, joining the Discord, and becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon. And thank you to the 2 of you who did become Dark Titans tonight. I do really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Let me just really quickly do this. Okay, there we go. My YouTube dashboard was very bizarrely messed up. I had to refresh it. I still can't believe people believe rumors by Doomcock. Doomcock has, yes, missed the mark on some rumors, but he's also had some rumors that have been very true. So I, of course, I take rumors with a grain of salt. If you are in the audience, please take rumors with a grain of freaking salt. But, he said things in the past that have been true. I want my supporter role on the Discord. After I am done the stream, I will definitely give you supporter in Discord. For sure. Chief, you're in Discord, right? I will switch your roles once I'm done the stream. Who is Doomcock? Doomcock is another YouTuber. He covers a lot of entertainment industry topics, not as much gaming. He covers a lot of Star Trek. He covers a lot of Star Wars. He's got a good channel. He does talk about a lot of rumors, though, so, you know, a lot of people kind of say, oh, don't believe him. I believe some of the things that he says. Of course, they'll take everything with a grain of salt. Thoughts on Melina and MK11? I mean, we wanted Melina and MK11 from the beginning. YouTube, can you not give me the most bizarre ad in the universe? Thank you. I would appreciate that. YouTube, you're weird. Yeah, if you guys have any questions or comments, please feel free to put them into chat now. And I will do my best to answer them. Jake Gyllenhaal would be a better Bruce Wayne. I wholeheartedly disagree. Please don't put that skinny fucking twig as Bruce Wayne. Please. Please. No. 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 Have you seen the new set photos? The new set photos of what exactly? Of Batman? Yes. One second. Okay, there we go. What's the news on the Vampire the Masquerade game? There hasn't really been any other news, I don't think. It was delayed. I don't think that there's been any other news since the delay, though, really. Let me check really quickly. I haven't heard anything about it since the delay. Let me check their Twitter. Yeah, no, they haven't really posted much on Twitter, so... Oh, yeah, they haven't really posted... Ooh, they haven't posted much on Twitter at all, so... No new updates from what I know. Will you be streaming Cyberpunk 2077? 100%. On Cyberpunk 2077 launch day, I will be here playing Cyberpunk. I do have an Xbox Series X pre-ordered. I do have a PlayStation 5 pre-ordered. So basically, starting November 10th, I will be streaming every day. Every day, starting November 10th, I'll be streaming. Because on the 10th, we have a console launch. On the 12th, we have a console launch. So we have all of those games. I have Demon's Souls pre-ordered. I have Spider-Man Miles Morales pre-ordered. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War is releasing, which I have pre-ordered. We have Cyberpunk releasing, which is pre-ordered, which I'll be playing. But I'm going to put a big focus on Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk release day, be here. I will definitely be streaming it. But basically, starting November 10th, be ready. I will be streaming basically every day. I have thousands of dollars worth of new stuff pre-ordered, which is gonna be fun. Is this a permanent change? What do you mean, to streaming every day? I'm probably not going to go to streaming every day for the rest of my YouTube career, but starting November 10th, there's going to be a long period of time that I'm going to be streaming basically every day. 10th console, which has a bunch of games. The 12th console with a bunch of games. The 13th, we have Black Ops Cold War. We have Cyberpunk launching. There's a lot of games that I want to play that I really want to bang through. So lots of streams coming up. Also, I wanted to let you guys know, this week is the Black Ops Cold War beta. Starting Thursday is the Call of Duty Cold War Black Ops. Oh my gosh, I can't say the stupid name. Call of Duty No, Vera. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. Holy shit. That starts on Thursday. So all this weekend, I will be playing Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. I cannot say it. I will be streaming it most of the weekend. Thursday, I should be streaming it. Friday, I should be streaming it. Saturday, I have a couple of friends joining me. If you guys bought Black Ops Cold War, please let me know in the Discord. On Saturday, I am hoping to get some games together. I know that one of my moderators, Oron, should be with me playing Cold War. And also Pepper. We play Apex a lot together, Pepper, Oron, and I. So if there's anyone else that is a supporter that did purchase it that wants to possibly team up and play some games on Saturday, let me know. She keeps missing my question. Opinion on the game companies joining the ADL to police extremism in gaming. Dell? Oh my gosh. Dell. Video tomorrow. Tomorrow I will be talking about companies joining the ADL to add more social justice into the industry. That is tomorrow's video. Gonna watch Vera Bay through a pile of games. There's so many games. I'm going to be playing Spider-Man Miles Morales. I'm going to be playing Demon's Souls. I'm going to be playing Black Ops Cold War. I'm going to be playing Cyberpunk 2077. And then I'm also going to be playing probably Valhalla. Lots of games, everyone. Lots of games, that's for sure. Lots of them. Give me 1 second, you guys. Yeah. I'm curious, for those of you in chat, did you guys purchase any of the consoles? Did you get your hands on any of the new consoles, or did you decide to ultimately pass on them? I know that obviously the stress of getting them is very, very difficult. They have been very rough to get. I know that they did another wave of pre-orders today, actually. But I'm curious if any of you got your consoles. Thoughts on Gal Gadot? I don't know what you mean about Gal Gadot. I did a video on Gal Gadot 2 days ago talking about the Cleopatra situation. I've talked about her in Wonder Woman 1984. There it is, Demon's Souls. Yes, I have Demon's Souls pre-ordered. I will be playing Demon's Souls. Passing on them PC Master Race. Guys, anyone have a 3090? I'm kidding. Too expensive. The consoles aren't easy to get in Trinidad. Fair enough. Yeah, they are very difficult to get. I mean, everywhere. But I luckily got my hands on them. so I can stream some of the launch games for you guys and hopefully be able to stream some of the exclusives for you guys. Waiting on Horizon until I get a PS5. Horizon Zero Dawn 2 is a game that I am looking forward to as well. Gal is being an SJW being eaten. Yes, Grim. She is an SJW being eaten by SJWs. I agree fully with you guys, everyone in chat. PC Master Race. I'm with you. I am on your team. I am your friend. Yes, I'm on your team. PC Master Race for sure. But I did get the new consoles, first of all, because usually I purchase the new consoles, but also I wanted to get the new consoles to be able to play the exclusive games for you guys, which is fun. I know a lot of you guys like to watch the streams, obviously. I like to stream for you guys, play some of the games, and yeah, I'm hoping that my Xbox doesn't burn my house down, basically. Will you play Spider-Man Remaster? I am not going to be streaming the Spider-Man PlayStation 4 Remaster. My last playthrough of a game was actual, besides Hades, was actually the Spider-Man on PlayStation 4. So I'm not going to be playing the remaster because I did just do a playthrough of Spider-Man on the PS4. Where do you stream live natively? Twitch? Nope, here on YouTube. I am a YouTube streamer. I do not stream on Twitch. I am a YouTube streamer. The PS5 is a slightly upgraded PS4 Pro, so you're basically getting an upgrade. Yeah, a little bit of an upgrade. I'm too old to buy consoles anymore. I disagree. I think that anyone can buy consoles. Anyone can play games. But Gal never did anything SJW. She's done SJW things in the past, yes. PS5 is as fast as an RTX 2080 Ti. That is not an upgraded PS4. That's way faster. Yeah, it is quite an upgrade, like I said. Should I get a Switch and Zelda and Mario Kart game? I personally really like the Switch, yes. If you don't have a Switch, I would totally recommend getting a Switch. I use my Switch all of the time, to be honest. I use my Switch more than I use my Xbox or my PlayStation. I think that the portability of the Switch is fantastic. I think that it's really good. I'm personally a huge fan of the exclusives, but if you want to play FPSs and, you know, games like Horizon Zero Dawn, then you can't play that type of stuff on the Switch. But it depends on what type of games you like. Something came in the mail today. Stay tuned, Discord friends. Sounds very suspicious, Frank. I mean, if you don't have any sort of gaming platform, I'd go PC, yeah. Can people even still buy Switches? What do you mean? Of course they can. I've still got a Wii U. Wii U is great. Wii U is great. I liked my Wii U quite a bit. I don't really use my Wii U anymore, to be honest. It was a neat console. It didn't do the best, but I thought that it was neat. But alright, you guys, I am going to end the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the stream, please make sure to give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Please make sure to follow me on social media if you do not already, like Parler and Twitter. It is Vara_Dark. All of the links are in the description. If you are not already part of our Discord, please make sure to join it. We are very active there. I do tag you all when I go live in case YouTube does not notify you. I also post my videos there, but I try to not excessively ping. Also, please consider becoming a Dark Titan via Patreon for just $1 a month. None of my content is currently monetized, so it all does really, really help support the channel. But thank you all so much for stopping by, and have a fantastic night, everybody.